Good afternoon. It is now 4 o'clock on Tuesday, February 7th. I'd like to call the Transportation Ad Hoc Committee meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you take the roll?
Brenham,
Present.
Livingston,
Present.
Weaver, Walker,
Here.
Mackey.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The next item of our agenda is election of chair. And so I'd like to open the floor right now for any nominations for chair.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Livingston. I heard Overture Walker. Any other nominations for chair? All right, hearing none, I'll close nominations. Madam Clerk, if you would, call the roll for Overture Walker as chair of the Transportation Committee.
Brenham,
Yes.
Livingston, Weaver,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. I'll now pass the meeting over to Overture Walker.
You, Madam Vice Chair. Also, thank you to my colleagues just for your vote of confidence and support. Next item on the agenda is item 3, the approval of the minutes. That's from the December 6, 2022 meeting. I will entertain a motion.
Second?
All right. Properly second. Any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, take the vote, please.
Brenham,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Weaver, Walker,
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next item on the agenda is item 4, adoption of the agenda. Any changes, additions, or deletions to the agenda? Mr. Brown or Mr. Director Maloney? Okay. All right, I entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
A second?
Second.
Properly second. Any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Brenham,
Yes.
Livingston, Weaver,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next item on the agenda is item 5, item 5A to be specific, which is an item for action. This is the Blythewood Road Widening Award of construction. And at this time, Director Maloney, we'll hear from you.
Thank you, Chairman Walker. This project is the award of construction of Blythewood Road Widening. Blythewood Road Widening plan was provided in the packet from I-77 ramps over to Syrup Mill Road. The road includes, it's a 5-lane road widening from a 2-lane road, and it includes shared use paths. All the property acquisition, I understand, is in county hands and is ready to start construction. So we received 2 bids. The low bid was from Cherokee Inc. in the amount of $10,061,778.01. The transportation staff requests a 10% contingency, which is $1,006,177.80. So that puts our total request for this project at $11 million. We provided some financial information to show what's been spent and what's remaining in the budget for this project. Total costs with professional services at just over $12,300,000, and we're providing that funding mechanism from the Blythewood Widening project, the Blythewood Road shared use paths, which this project has, and the Blythewood area improvements, where a part of the project was reduced by the elimination of widening beyond Syrup Mill. So that's adds in $2 million there. SUP is $400,000, and the widening has a remaining budget of $9.8 million, providing the overall funding necessary for the project.
Anything else, Director Maloney?
We also provided an exhibit of the roundabout that would occur just outside of the off-ramps and the realignment of road there so that the members can see the details of the project. And those have been reviewed by SCDOT, and this road will be continue to be an SCDOT maintained road.
Before I open the floor for questioning, I just want to acknowledge one of our colleagues who's present this afternoon. That's Councilman Derek Pugh. So thanks for being present this afternoon, Councilman Pugh. All right, any questions or, all right, you recognize Councilman Pugh?
You know, I'm present, sir, because this is in my district.
Would have never known.
Mr. Maloney, before I start, I just want to say hats off to you and your staff. You guys have done a wonderful job. It's so great to see these penny projects coming to fruition and giving the public something good for all those penny taxes that they paid in the past. So I appreciate everything and your efforts going forward. I had 3 questions, but I listened to you and you answered the other question while you were giving your presentation. The first question is, are contractors notified that they won the contract before it comes to council?
They do know that they were apparent low, for instance, where they stood on that.
All right, cool. And the other question is, I see the 10% contingency, and I definitely understand that. But if there's no foreseeable conditions or anything doesn't happen and it stays the course of the original quote, what happens to that 10% contingency?
That remains in the fund balance.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Mr. Pugh. Questions? You recognize Ms. Mackey?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Director Maloney, I know that we've discussed this before, but if you could, just for, ease of understanding while we're talking about this project, can you talk a little bit about kind of what happens if this makes it out of committee and actually is fully approved by council, kind of time frame of when a project like this would anticipate to start and how the public might be notified moving forward? Yes, ma'am. We see this project then, if it goes to council next, on the 14th, for the next council meeting. If it were to be approved there, then we would be scheduling the contracting with the procurement office, and that would take 2 or 3 weeks. And at that point, we'll schedule also the pre-construction meeting with the contractor. And it's at that meeting that would likely occur later in February that we would get a detailed construction schedule from the contractor. Once we have that construction schedule, then we would be ready to press release the construction to the public, giving them all the information they need, including the calendar of events, so that if anybody asks what are the impacts to me by this construction project, we would have those answers. And so we're likely to break ground, so to speak, in early March, if not the end of February. Thank you so much.
That's it, Ms. Mackey? Any additional questions from this body? All right. There being none.
Motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Move to properly second. Any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, take the vote, please.
Brenham,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is adjournment. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
All right,
Second.
let's move to properly second. I think that is non-debatable. So, Madam Clerk, take the vote, please.
Brenham,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Motion approved.
We are adjourned.